WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. At least a dozen inmates have died throughout the prison system since the start of the new year.
Now, pastors from across North Mississippi are outlining a list of prison reforms they say are long overdue. Pastor Jeffrey Gladney joined other ministers and family members with loved ones in Parchman for a news conference highlighting the need for prison reforms. Gladney says several families in his church have loved ones in Parchman where violence has occurred. The group wants that prison in Sunflower County shut down, along with putting nonviolent offenders on probation and examine the jail sentence of drug-related crimes. Gladney believes the money saved from these measures could pay for rehab programs.
We would hope that this would make enough of an impact that something would be done about the conditions in Parchman. Nothing short of those inmates being moved to better conditions, going against the 8th Amendment of the Constitution of cruel and unusual punishment. We want anyone who is in jail to be treated fairly.
Gladney also hopes lawmakers will revise some sections of House Bill 585. It's a cycle that happens so often, inmates finding their way back into prison.
Our Bobby Martinez talks to some lawmakers today about their thoughts on how the state can improve the recidivism rate. Bobby?
Guys, they say time is of the essence, and for some inmates, a majority of their time is spent in prison due to bad decisions. I had the chance to speak with state reps who say it all comes down to opportunities to find a job.
As the prison doors slam shut, so do the opportunities. There are some work programs in prison, but they don't always translate to a job once their sentence is over. State Representative Sheck Taylor believes employment isn't the only issue outside the gates of jail.
There's two issues that we have. Number one, when you incarcerate nonviolent offenders with violent offenders, what you find is that when they are released, they oftentimes become violent offenders on the outside. But also when they come out, they do need to have workforce development skills.
Taylor says those skills are being taught at many community colleges almost every day. He wants convicts to have a similar training, enabling them to have a career.
They are mobile welding units that can actually be shipped near prisons, local jails, and things of that nature, especially even here regionally, where they can get on-site skills where they can go out and be gainfully employed. And these welders make up to $80,000 a year.
At a Monday meeting with area lawmakers, State Representative Kabir Kareem talked about jobs and parole restrictions keeping some inmates in jail. Kareem believes a legislative black caucus can make progress on these issues this legislative session.
We'll take those concerns that we heard today as it relates to MDOC and talk to our caucus and hopefully further our legislation that is already in progress, that we can alleviate some of the overcrowdedness that we have in prison right now.
Kareem says him and other state reps plan on visiting Parchman Prison this Friday. He says they want to get a first-hand look on the current inmate living conditions and more. Guys, back to you.
All right, the Mississippi Highway Patrol has a reminder for drivers tonight. Move over when state troopers and service crews are on the side of the road. The move over law requires drivers to move at least one lane away when approaching vehicles with flashing lights on the roadside. Troopers say if you can't move over, then you need to slow down at least 20 miles an hour below the posted speed limit. Sergeant Marvin Baird believes many drivers are just not paying attention.
People are distracted, they're looking down at their phones, they're texting, they're driving, and they're not paying attention to what's taking place. People's lives are at stake. We want to go home. We plan on going home just like you do after you get off work. So even in last year, in our area there in the Basefield area, there was a record service driver that was killed as a result of a distracted driver while clearing a wreck scene.
The move over law was passed back in 2007, but MHP recently unveiled a public service campaign that reminds motorists of the law.
Two men face drug charges in Amory. 36-year-old Willie Franks is charged with possession of a controlled substance and trafficking a controlled substance. 38-year-old Stephen Love is charged with possession of a controlled substance. Frank was actually denied bond because he has a prior felony conviction. Love's bond is $25,000. 8 people are dead after a massive fire at a boat dock in Scottsboro, Alabama early this morning. The blaze happened at Jackson County Park. WHNT reports 7 people were injured. 35 boats were destroyed. More than a dozen agencies are working in the recovery mission. It could take days before the boats and the victims are recovered.
At Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon today, look at all the blue sky this afternoon. We had a gloomy start, but this afternoon very nice, and those clouds going away. We are clear in our area right now, and if you are out in the near term, you'll see the moon, a crescent moon, and also a very bright Venus shining on the western horizon. That's a live view in downtown Columbus. Temperatures are cooling down into the 50s. Oxford, though, already into the upper 40s. And for the most part, we are in the 50s now, but we will transition down through the 40s, low 40s by 11 o'clock. We're still mostly clear this evening. Areas of fog possible tonight. We're down into the 30s, 50s tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds. Your full forecast coming up.
Some Tupelo drivers may have to take a different route tomorrow. The city will be closing East Jackson Street between Madison and Robin Street. Those streets will be closed 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Workers will be installing power lines during that time.
Lawmakers receive an update on the latest economic development projects in the Golden Triangle. A recap was given during a breakfast at the Communiversity this morning. The Golden Triangle Development Link wanted to talk to lawmakers from the region where they try to lure businesses to build. Link CEO Joe Max Higgins says he may need the Golden Triangle's legislators to ask for money to pay for infrastructure projects.
I think we had a real good meeting today. We had a meeting with the legislators that represent our 3-county area. We gave them 5 projects that are economic development related, mostly roads, some water and sewer work, or some water work, that if they have the opportunity to get us help, can get us funding for them, we'd like for them to help us do that.
Higgins says today's meeting was a step in the right direction in addressing issues in the region.
Well, for many local cities and towns, attracting and keeping businesses can be a challenge. But as WCBI's Allie Martin reports from Calhoun County, there are ways economic developers are touting unique features of their areas to boost interest and keep businesses there.
It is lunchtime at Jeffrey's, and business is brisk. Ellen Shaw's family opened the gift store and restaurant in 1981 on the square in Bruce. It has been in the same location ever since, weathering good and bad economic times, but remaining a vital part of the town. Shaw says the business has attracted a loyal following while creating its own niche in downtown. She believes those factors are a recipe for success.
We have a lot of great support with the community, and like you did, we have the people that continue to shop with us, and we pull from other areas, which has been really advantageous for us also. You know, a lot of hard work, but just great local people also.
Like many locally owned businesses, Jeffrey's is involved in the community. Shaw is on the board of aldermen, and customers can pick up flyers promoting a fundraising drive to help the Bruce High School band get new uniforms. The strong sense of community attracts many residents to the area. Carolyn Bryant and her husband Jerry moved back to Calhoun County after living in the Memphis area for more than 40 years.
He retired in '95, but we didn't have the courage to move back until 2002. And we've moved back, and we haven't regretted it. All our friends told us you can't go home again, but we found out that you could.
Promoting cities and towns throughout Calhoun County is vital to the area's economic success. That's what organizations like the Bruce Chamber of Commerce does. In fact, they're having their monthly business meeting. It's an opportunity for business and civic leaders to come together and talk about ways to market the unique qualities of the area.
Our housing costs here are very low, low tax base, and it's sort of a bedroom community from Oxford. So we have some Ole Miss affiliation in our county, and yes, it's small town atmosphere with big town thoughts.
The Calhoun Economic Development Association believes that's one reason to get an accurate count in the upcoming census, because federal and state dollars for economic development are on the line. In Bruce, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
The Calhoun Economic Development Association will hold its annual banquet Thursday evening. Well, it's peak flu season, and the CDC says the number of people getting sick continues to rise.
And look at how schools are keeping the germs away next.
You're watching WCBI News at 6 with Andrea Self and Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. If you haven't had the flu yet this season, you probably know someone that has. Schools are canceling events and hiring cleaning crews to battle the dangerous virus.
That's right. Homes and schools are where many of us spend most of our time. That's why taking a few minutes to do some extra cleaning could keep everybody in the house fever-free. Our Stephanie Poole talks to some experts today. She joins us in the studio with more. Stephanie.
Yes, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports high flu activity in Mississippi and Alabama. Kids have been hospitalized, and many fear the numbers will only grow. There are steps in place to prevent that from happening at school and at home. Although germs can't be seen with the human eye, they live on everything you touch.
And all you have to do is cough, and it can be spread to the next student that the patient's sitting by. So, I mean, it can spread like wildfire.
It's something Jessica Mills sees every day at Fair Elementary School in Louisville. The nurse practitioner says recently about 15 to 20 kids have been visiting her office every day.
We like to keep them home. Flu strands A and B the most prevalent.
As the virus infects more students, Mills encourages teachers to clean their classrooms even more.
Tell the teachers that if they have had a student who has been positive flu, to be sure that they're wiping down all the tables, the desks, having the kids wash their hands. When they cough, cover their mouths and their elbows. Disinfect with Lysol spray, Clorox, Germ-X.
Those germs also follow the kids home. Dee Dee Carter owns Tidy Girls Cleaning Service in Starkville. Her job takes her to schools, businesses, and homes.
Well, we'll focus like on things with children. We'll focus on things they can touch, things they can put in their mouths, toys. We'll wipe down all their toys. We'll make sure that the doorknobs are clean, that toilet bowl handles are clean, that floors are clean.
Carter says it takes extra work to get rid of germs in homes after several people have been sick in the small space.
We find ourselves doing extra mopping. We use extra heavy-duty chemicals and cleaners. A lot of our customers have asked for extra work this year due to flu and virus season.
Educators are asking parents to keep students home if they have flu symptoms and until they're fever-free for at least 24 hours.
All right, Keith, did I see some sunshine today?
You did.
It was nice.
It felt really good, and skies are still clear right now. Look at this. We have Venus and the moon shining on the western horizon this evening. That was sent in by PJ here over the last couple of minutes. But if you go outside right now, you can see it live with our Alpha Insurance camera network. At some point, it's going to pop up. We'll show you that. You can see it still there. So venture on out, check it out. We'll have that full forecast that does include a little bit of rain coming up next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Yes, indeed, we did see a nice dose of sunshine this afternoon after those gloomy conditions this morning. Our time lapse from downtown Columbus, not too bad of a winter day. Temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s now in downtown Columbus, and in most spots here, there's the moon. That is Venus shining on the western horizon. Skies are clear. Now later tonight, we'll take temperatures down into the mid 30s. We will moderate things back into the upper 50s to around 60 tomorrow. So similar to where we were today, but there will be increasing cloud cover tomorrow. Not as cold tomorrow night. Ooh. Let me grow a little bit. There we go. Okay, the magic of TV. We can just grow like magic. All right. And on Wednesday, we are looking at temperatures probably in the 40s to low 50s here with our next chance for showers. You can see the showers coming on in here. Now, this is our rain potential Wednesday. Not a gully washer here, no flooding expected, a half inch of moisture or less. That's the current thinking here. So we don't even think there's going to be any thunder with that system, but there will be some rain showers around, very similar to what we had yesterday, if you can recall. For tomorrow, your Tuesday, cloud cover building on in. We may see some fog in the morning, so don't be alarmed. If you do see it, temperatures will be in the 30s initially, back into the 50s as we go throughout the course of the day. So we're thinking anywhere from about 55 north to the upper 50s to low 60s across the southern reaches of the area. And overall, from Tennessee south across the region here tomorrow, not bad. You get north of Tennessee, 30s and 40s, much colder farther north. So this is the place to be in the lower 48 if you want to stay mild this time of year. You can see the fog potential here later on tonight. So some of that could be developing even in our area. So that will be concern number one. Clouds start to build on in during the day tomorrow. I think we stay dry, though. The moisture should hold off until as we get into our Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. You can see the showers building back on in here. Have the umbrellas ready to go on Wednesday. Not really looking at any thunderstorm activity, but there will be some downpours, some lighter showers around, and we'll have that accumulation there, a ½ inch or less. Now, if you want thunder, the better opportunity for that on Wednesday, closer to the coast. You can see that system going down that way. That's where the most unstable air is going to be. We'll have another system come into the region on Friday, another chance for some showers. Still up in the air exactly how much rain we'll get out of that. We could get some, maybe none. We'll see. But those two systems really minor in the grand scheme of things. A great weekend coming on up. Saturday, Sunday, maybe a shot at mid to upper 60s by early next week, too.
Always looking at that weekend.
Always, even on a Monday.
And well, Sunday's a Super Bowl, so it looks good for if you're going to have stuff at the house or
grill
whatever.
out.
That's right. Hey, you can grill out for the big game. How about that?
Exactly.
We're coming over, right?
Don't have to say invite me over.
Yeah, okay.
You're always grilling out, so we expect an invite.
Grills more than both of us.
So get the grill back out.
All right, coming up, the Bulldogs pick up another big win, this time with some help from off the bench. More from Vic Schaefer and company next in sports. I'm looking for an invitation.
Okay.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
If Mississippi State is going to go on yet another deep tournament run in March, it'll need to consistently get production off the bench that it's been missing from the start of the season. Over the past 3 games, the Bulldogs have been seeing key reserves play big minutes. One of those being sophomore guard Zaria Wiggins, playing big minutes recently off the bench for Vic Schaefer, averaging 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in those 3 games while shooting 54% from the field. Schaefer says Wiggins has become her Swiss Army knife, impacting games from almost every aspect of basketball.
She's my fix-it-all. She can come in and play 2-3. She can play the 4. She's that big wing, you know, and you get her going now. She's hard to get to, and she does provide us a little bit of a little help rebounding. Really proud of her, and you know, I got a lot of confidence in Zaria right now, and she's really impacting our team.
I definitely think I'm playing pretty well right now. Just getting the confidence from them extra minutes that I'm getting on the court, you know, and just my teammates sitting here supporting me and just pushing me every day in practice definitely helps too.
Take a look at basketball for this week. Tomorrow, big day for men's basketball. Mississippi State at Florida, 6 p.m. on ESPN2. Number 17, Auburn, in town in Oxford to take on Ole Miss. That's the late tip at 8 p.m. Women's basketball on Thursday. Mississippi State back in action inside the hump against Auburn at 7 p.m. Both of those games will be on the SEC Network Plus. Number 1, South Carolina in Oxford. Huge week of basketball in Oxford for Ole Miss. That's a 7 p.m. tip as well. Then Saturday, Ole Miss at number 22, LSU. Hey, brunch with Ole Miss if you want to watch some good hoops on ESPN2. Saturday, and then Mississippi State home against Tennessee at 1 p.m. on ESPNU. Baseball America names its preseason All-Americans for the upcoming season. 2 Bulldogs listed. Sophomore pitcher J.T. Ginn named to the first team, and junior second baseman Justin Foscue named to the second team. Mississippi State baseball season begins in 18 days. They host Wright State for opening weekend inside the Dew. The sports world continues to mourn the loss of basketball legend Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe's impact on not only the game of basketball, but to all sports across the globe was felt all day yesterday. Reminding me of 2 years ago when Mississippi State clinched its 2nd straight championship game appearance. The Bulldogs' biggest star met my generation's Michael Jordan. Victoria Vivians helped her team just reach the national championship, the pinnacle of her sport. And when I talked to her after the game, this was her response. Kobe Bryant, just watched you get to your 2nd straight national championship. How are you feeling?
Amazing! Like, that's my idol, you know. I always looked up to him. My granddaddy loved him. My brother loved him. Everybody loved him. I love Kobe Bryant.
So for you, your 2nd straight national championship, what does it feel like?
It feels great. Kobe Bryant's out there.
The Bulldogs had just reached the title game, and she was more excited one of her childhood idols was there in the building. That was the impact of Kobe. No matter who you were, what you looked like, where you're from, we all wanted to be Kobe. To lose Kobe at just 41 years old and possibly the next Victoria Vivians and his daughter Gianna, There are no words that can help that kind of loss. That's it for sports. WCBI continues after the break.
Some showers Wednesday, maybe Friday too. Overall, the next 7 days, not too active around here. Comfortable, and we'd like to see this kind of weather pattern. No severe weather, no winter weather.
Yeah, that is pretty comfortable for January, late January.
Before the end of the week, I'll be asking your Super Bowl picks. So.
Think on it.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. Thanks for joining us.